I'm Kevin Lee, Sales Director at Amillan. I'm just going to run through a short presentation of sort of 3 or 4 slides just to introduce to us as an organisation. And as far as the agenda is concerned, I'm going to introduce you also to Adam Shillito, who's with us, who's our solution design consultant. And as Katrina mentioned earlier, we've got Sam Harper coming on to talk around the Evolve IP solution. I'm going to kick off and just tell you a little bit more about us as an organisation. So Amillan, we are a managed service provider, long history of delivering reliable, high quality services, and I'll explain a little bit more about those services as I move through this presentation. We build everything that we do is on our own internal expertise, and we really value exceptional customer services. It's the most important thing to us is to have a loyal customer base and become that trusted partner in supplying the services that I'll talk about in a little while. We're highly service driven and a really strong focus on meeting customer needs and meeting and bringing the right solutions to the table to resolve the current problems that you may be experiencing with your networks, etc. And we're very flexible, so we can provide more tailored type solutions, and we can adapt the type of services and the offerings that we have to meet your needs as an organisation. And probably the most important thing, we are committed to exceptional customer services. That's number one as far as our business is concerned, is that customers come first, and that's pretty apparent with some of our long-term relationships where we've had customers for still with us 20 years down the line, etc. So what is our capability? So we really, if I talk about it, I tend to talk around the 4 key pillars or 4 key competencies that we talk about. And the first one really being networking. So we deliver a lot of LAN and wireless LAN type solutions and everything that sits around those with some of our key vendors. We've always been, our legacy comes from a cabling, both copper, fiber background. And we do a lot in the construction space with providing new cabling infrastructures to some major organisations and M&Es around the UK. And network services, not to be forgotten last but not least, but we used to be traditional ISDN, PSTN type services. As we know, that's been shut down, was 2025, now 2027. But we provide things like SIP, and we can replace any of those legacy type services on the PSTN with modern day SIP type services. And we provide the networks on the back of that, such as SD-WAN. So that's our key networking piece. What we're more concerned about today is really talking around the unified communications. We come from a very legacy background of traditional PBXs using TDM type environments. As that world transitioned into IP telephony, and today more UC, unified communications type applications. And we involved in this, we also have a big Microsoft practice as well, where we used to deliver in the early days Microsoft Link that turned into Skype for Business, and today obviously Microsoft Teams, and we have a number of deployments of Teams across various sectors out there across the UK. And then as we transition, we're seeing more of the UCaaS, so Unified Communications as a Service, and that's where our partner Evolve IP comes in, where we deliver those services from Evolve, more around a Cisco WebEx platform that we'll hear more about in a short while. And again, the Microsoft piece and how they can integrate together. The third element really is around the contact center piece, where we deliver a lot of traditional contact centers where they were on-prem, but again, as in this changing world of today, moving more to contact center as a service and delivering them as a cloud environment. And lastly but not least, the move towards AI. We're getting very strong in what we can offer around the AI piece as we move more from conversational AI to generative AI solutions. And an interesting point here is that AI is expected to be bigger than the web is today and cloud put together, which is quite a statement considering that we've been running the web for probably over 25 years now, and we expect AI to outgrow the capacity of that moving forward. So really just talking about the paradigm shift in new world solutions, and feel quite strongly about this and if I explain what is a paradigm shift about it, it's a radical shift in thinking which can affect business, and there changes the way that we think, and there's some of the technology advances that radically does new ways of doing things. So why is this relevant to us all? The way your customers want to contact you has changed today, and we need to consider how we can better serve our customer base. The solutions and services you offer need to be always on. That wasn't the case maybe 5-10 years ago. They didn't need to be always on, but today we work on a 24/7 basis. The customers tend to work, like you probably do as well, in a more hybrid mode. So a lot more people working remotely, working in different offices, working in coffee shops, or working from home. So hybrid working is real big consideration on anything that we actually do. And of course, the work-life balance has changed. People's expectations are different to what they were previously. So if the challenge we face doesn't scare us, then it's probably not that important. So it's important that we accept change and we move with it. And what we're going to talk a little bit about today with Sam is really understand a bit more about what we can do within cloud and unified communications. So we're going to run a couple of polls as well, and it'll be rated around what do you think around AI and the use of AI within unified communications as a service. And on that note, I'm going to hand over to Sam, but initially we're going to run a quick poll with a couple of questions just to get a feel from yourselves on what your thoughts are. And by all means, please add things into the chat as we go through the presentation. So if you could answer the polls, that'd be really great. And then I'm going to hand over to Sam very shortly to run through the Evolve IP solution. And we'll follow up with some questions at the end as well with Adam from Amillan, who's our solution design consultant in the unified communication space. Trina, can I hand over to you to the polls? Or?
Yes, just posting that for us to see. Can everyone see those results? It's not going live yet.
Yep, they're there.
Yeah, we've all responded, I think.
Brilliant. Can you see the results online? If not, I'm happy to read them out. Are you using any AI in your business at present? 56% of people polled have said yes. So half attendees are using AI at present. 10% are a no, and 30% are a don't know. So a pretty clear yes. Still jumping up. We've got 60% yes, 10% no, 30% don't know.
Okay.
So I'm just going to close that now. There we go. There's the results.
You got the second question there as well, Katrina.
I do. I can launch that as well.
Yeah,
we're polling today. We're polling today, aren't we? Let's all go. Here's another one. If planning to or using AI, what benefits do you think it will provide? Modernize the business, generate more sales, streamline processes, improve ROI, better managed resources. So if you're planning to or you're using AI, what benefits do you think this will provide? I really want to answer it, but I know I can't. So I'm going to view the results. So the results are in. They're moving up and down. It's got some interesting results there. Can you see the results on your end?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so we've got 36% people think modernise the business and 36% streamline process. So mostly modernising and streamlining process. Generate more sales only at 9%. That's interesting. Better manage resource 18%. Improve ROI 0%.
Interesting result. Yeah. Thanks for doing the poll. And
okay.
Sam, we'll hand over to you.
Lovely, thank you very much. I'll just share my screen. Hopefully everyone can see that okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Kev, for obviously inviting us today. Obviously, with an introduction, I'm Sam Harper, Partner Account Manager or Executive from Evolve IP. I've been working with Amillan for a couple of years now. If you wish to do so, you can scan the QR code there and you can connect with me if you wish to do so. Obviously, I work with Amillan, but feel free to obviously connect up on that. We'll be on LinkedIn, so always sharing stuff that's going on, so maybe worth some value to you. But like we said, the real kind of reason we're here today is to really talk about how we're helping partners like Amillan really utilize AI within voice and UCaaS across the board. So one of the first things I want to kind of touch on before we go into anything kind of specific within the product set and our solutions is what we're doing. So we're improving that user experience across the board. These are kind of the main 6 areas we're seeing AI really utilize, and people are starting to feedback what they're getting from it. So user experience is very important. If we're able to give our colleagues, our employees, good technology that streamlines their day, empowers them to do more, give them more resource and more time back, we then end up with more happy staff, less churn, and it's always difficult to try and obviously find a good employee. So if we can keep the ones we've got there, this is a really, really nice story to have. Modernising the perception of your business, enhancing that brand. How are you seen, not just externally, but also internally as well? And that all kind of wraps into that enhanced communication, whether that's with your customers, with your suppliers, with your staff members, within your business. How do we start to really help out that communication across the business? Streamline it, but also enhance it and bring everyone together. And obviously, one of the ones that everyone touched on there in the poll was that generate, well, I'll say you have 9% there. So hopefully this might lead you into a bit more, and that may extend if we were asked to poll again, but that generate the sales and increase the consumer appetite. We're using AI to really build that kind of picture out for our customers. Streamline processes, a very big one. Everyone uses AI for that, whether that's a quick retype of your message or utilizing it in other areas of the business. It's a nice way to be able to do that and bring resources back. And no one actually said come back with return on investment. So that's one we can really start to prove and really show that actually the AI you're using in-house and you've adopted, we can start to show there is a return on investment in there, whether that's the resource or the cost or the sales increase or so forth. So that's how we can start to build that out. So the first thing I want to kind of touch on is with WebEx. We at Evolve IP are agnostic to an endpoint, whether that's with WebEx or Teams or any type of hardware. We're quite flexible, and that's why we kind of synergize quite well with Amillan. We could be flexible in our approach and to really provide you with what you like to work with and fit into that. But WebEx have really started to, I say start, they've been there for a while, already pushing the AI features within WebEx and making everyone's kind of day a lot more easier to kind of catch up on things. So they have something called WebEx AI Assistant. One of the first things that they've enabled everyone to do is have space summaries. So this could be, say, you've been on holiday for a week or 2 weeks. Maybe you've had people off sick and they're coming back into the business. Or you've just had a really busy day. You've been in meetings or you've been traveling. You come back to your laptop and you've got so many different messages to try and read through. It's just impossible to kind of go through them, capture all information and understand, okay, is this actually valuable to me or is it not? Do I need any of this information or can I just crack on with what I'm doing? With the AI summary in here, we're able to catch up on those unread messages and those time gaps to really understand what's been going on, cutting down what may take you 10, 20, 30 minutes to read through everything and putting it into a nice little summary for you to capture. Then you as a user can then make that decision, okay, do I need to go into more information or can I just crack on with the other jobs that I need to do? You're just empowering that user to make that decision and catch up quickly. There's also the ability to rewrite messages. So I touched on this earlier. People use things like Copilot and ChatGPT, for instance, to maybe rewrite messages to a different tone or make them more formal or so forth. that ability has now been brought into WebEx itself. So you've got it in one single pane of glass. So you no longer do you have to risk that kind of information being shared across to ChatGPT or to Copilot. That's now being stuck in here. Whether you want to sound more witty because you know deep down you're not actually that funny, or you're more direct and you want to be able to change that kind of format within the business so people can communicate better with your members of staff, or even externally as well with your partners or customers. You can start to do all that within here as well, just enhancing how you use your platform as a general user. And that collaboration piece then just becomes so much more powerful. So we've had summaries within your kind of spaces, your groups, your project teams and so forth, but actually we can do that piece within the collaboration of meetings too. So I think the stat is something around about 90% of meetings now have at least one attendee joining virtually. So it's really important now as a business that you have the right tools in place to be able to take that adoption on and give everyone a platform where they feel comfortable utilizing it and getting the most out of those. So with the summary piece within WebEx meetings, we're able to catch up. Say we've been late for a meeting because we've had the previous meetings overgone. Maybe we've had to step away from the meeting for a few minutes because, you know, people work from home, the postman turns up, the dog barks, you're in the office and someone asks you an important question that takes your distraction, takes your kind of your moment away from that meeting. You're able to come in here now and get those summaries and catch up from where you've missed off. Also, as well, if people were not to attend the meeting, they can then catch up on this quite quickly via a summary. So what's quite nice about that is no longer does it take them an hour to review the whole video. They can start to see what's going on in a quick summary. Really nice to share that around the company. We can then take that one step further and then start to create chapters within our meetings too. So say, for example, you do a business-wide meeting, whether it's could be a sales meeting, it could be a department meeting. You've got all the department heads coming together. They have a 10-minute slot each. This will then break that down into those chapters for you. The meeting's recorded. Chapters are summarized and built together for you. You can edit them if you wish to do so, but then you can then take those little snippets of that meeting and then share them around your certain teams. Or again, if you've missed that meeting for some reason, you can come into here and just capture upon the moments that are valuable to you. You no longer have to walk around the business and have a conversation with each individual attendee to find out what happened, and then maybe get that kind of effective Chinese whispers where information is being misled or being misinformed. Everything is in here, and we can flip that into the kind of how we now approach our customers or our potential customers. Imagine being shared this kind of information at the end of a sales conversation or a sales meeting or a demonstration, being able to highlight this and share that to them for them to pass around their business to the real decision makers. It really just builds up that kind of that personable approach and how you can work as a business. One of the newest features within WebEx Assistant is the ability to do what they call be right back. So what this does is enables you to kind of step away from your screen without having to tell everyone the door's gone. You need to go see the postman or let the dog out or go speak to someone in the office. It automatically recognizes that you've left your camera. It will put the coffee cup on there, so everyone's now aware that you've gone. It will also mute your mic as well. And then everyone else in that meeting is no longer distracted from you leaving. The meeting itself can stay streamlined. It can stay on course. If you've set an hour, it can still take that hour. It's not going to go over the top. So really nice, easy way to implement that. And then when you come back, we've then got the assistant that can then catch you up. So you come back to the meeting. You don't need to stop everyone to say, what just happened in the last 5 minutes? Can you catch me up on what's going on? The WebEx Assistant can do all of that for you, making sure that the distractions are mitigated as much as possible within a meeting and keep everyone on course to ensure the full value of that time you have together is seen. So that's WebEx kind of from your user side. With this, we're able to, like I say, you empower them with new technology, good technology that gives them more time and resource back. And it's a nice way to be able to communicate internally and externally. Some real nice use cases in there. Next up, I want to show you about what we call AI Studio. So this is the ability to record on hold and marketing messages. So I've put a stat there in the bottom corner, which was based on a recent survey of 1.4 million calls to SMEs. So 20% of customers, customers spend 20% of their call time on hold. So how are we using that 20%? How is there a way we can actually monetize that area? Is there a way we can improve that customer experience? Is there a way we can tell our customers and people calling into the business more about what we do and give them more information that's going to help them in that call with when it comes through to the agent? Is that a sales opportunity? Is that just an opportunity to inform people and so forth? So this is powered by OpenAI. We're improving that caller experience, and if I click next, hopefully you'll see on the screen now what all we need is a web URL for that business. So for example, on here I've got Amillan. This is in real time. So what would normally happen in this instance would you'd have to create a message that may take you a few hours to find one you're happy with. You then have to find someone who likes recording their voice. You then have to find time to record that message and get it right. You then have to find a business to be able to stitch some audio to it, so a music file, which could probably cost anywhere in the range of maybe £200 to £300, and then also wait 2 weeks to get that information back to you to then upload to your IVRs or hunt groups and so forth. As you can see on here, the AI is skimming your website, putting that detail, giving you some options on what you could utilize. You're not restricted to them. You can change them, edit them, create your own, create marketing strategies that align with what you're doing. So if you've got marketing managers, they may have a strategy for each individual month of the year, or say, for instance, you might be a car company. A lot of people are coming in to sell tires. Actually, you can now put in there that you also service as well. So you're upselling in that moment to let people know that, yes, you can get your tires changed, but actually we can do a full service here. Would you be interested? If so, please speak to our agent and so forth. By the time you come through to the agent, you've whetted that appetite, provided some more information that maybe was not valid, wasn't there for them before. So it's using AI voices from Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, but there's also the option for professional voices too. And what you've just seen on the screen, that would be a preview. It stitch it all together and then provide it to you, which will then be streamed straight to our backend portal for you to upload onto your IVR. So we've taken what could take 2 weeks, completely streamlined that process, cut down the cost, cut down the resources required to be able to fulfill this small job within the business, and effectively push it down into maybe a 2 to 5 minute gap, which really is a true return on investment. The next area I wanted to focus on is call recording. So what we call this is conversational intelligence. So we're using AI to actually identify moments within calls. So if you have call recording on, you have a lot of data there. There's a lot of conversations going on between your customers, your suppliers, onto your agents, whether that's a customer service center, a sales center, and so forth. There's a lot of stuff a lot of information there for you to utilize. Now, if you're just doing data sampling, which is kind of random sampling those calls, you're only picking up on the ones that are being alerted to you. And then obviously that can take hours and hours to go through even more of those. And we've discovered that there's about a 1% kind of hit rate on those, actually getting a good feedback on them. With conversational intelligence, we're able to gain a deeper understanding within the whole context of these calls. So we connect them together with what we call moments. So at the moment we have moments include complaints, sales close, and abuse. Those are the 3 key areas that we're currently focusing on. And on the roadmap, we have customer satisfaction and also service delivery further down the line. So we're able to go through these calls and understand what's being said, how it's being said, the words that are being used, and then start to understand if that was a good call, a bad call, and then start to categorize them into areas that you as a business can actually be proactive in what you utilize that information for. we've got to remember, right? These calls are already happening. If they're already being recorded, you've already got that data set sat there, ready to be utilized. But if you're not using it, that's an untapped, huge amount of data that you are missing out on, that could really provide like proactive approaches into your business that would enhance your brand, the consumer experience, the customer experience, the user experience, and empowering those managers within the business to make data-driven decisions. So I've got a few slides here just based on those 3 areas that I touched on. So the first one is we're looking at complaints. So a complaint is an expected level of service that has not been delivered. Okay, with conversation intelligence, we're able to record all of those conversations and understand what's going on in them. These are broken down then by topics. So what you might find on this is actually you're getting 20% of your complaints are all based around delivery. Right, okay, so then what do we do with that? Do we then speak to our delivery company that we've chosen to contract for and explain to them, we've got customers that are not happy. What are you going to do about this to improve our customer experience, our relationship as well? Is there something we can do with that? Without this kind of technology, you are unable to provide that information to them. It's real data and have a real conversation about it. It may be actually there's a product and service quality. Are your suppliers providing faulty products? Is there certain suppliers that actually do not fit your criteria and are causing a lot of resource to be taken away from your customer service team because they're dealing with all these complaints? This is how we can start to gather this information and really understand it and be proactive in our approach and how we work with our customers, with ourselves, and with our suppliers at the same time. One of the nice things this will also do is, yes, it will build those calls into these topics where they see fit. Obviously, if they don't hit any of those criteria, it won't. However, what it will also do will collate the kind of the most spoken pieces within those conversations as well. So there may not be anything to do with any of those topics, but actually you may get a lot of people calling in to ask what are your open times and closing times or something along those lines. Where are you sharing that information at the moment? Effectively, that resource is going through to, well, that call is going through to your agents. It's taking away that time from your agents, which could be a simple, easy fix. It could be you now need to publish that information on your IVR. It may be you publish it on your website. It just gives you that information to go, right, okay, we need to do something about this to improve the customer experience and give us some time and resource back into the business. And there's a couple of use cases across the top there. When it comes to abuse, again, I've supplied a couple of free use cases there. But if anyone who is on this call has been involved in a call center or has call centers, obviously people who are cold calling, there can be a lot of, shall we say, aggressive language back to the person who's cold calling them. They didn't want that call and so forth. And it's not unheard of people to leave work crying or being upset due to amount of abuse they've been engaged in throughout that day. But you also get other people as well who don't show that and take it home with them. As a business manager, a department manager, you now have access to all this information. You now have the ability to make sure that socially you are doing what you can for all your staff, making sure touching in with them, making sure they're okay. You can see they've had 20 abusive calls in the last month. So that's now your opportunity as a manager to go up to them and speak to them and make sure they're okay, keeping them, hopefully trying to keep them happy. There may be an opportunity there for maybe upskill or a training piece. Maybe someone within there who doesn't get that much. Are they approaching those conversations a different way that's having a better impact on that customer call? And is there a way to leverage that bit of information to have a better effect across the whole team? And again, you've got the HR managers here who would find great use cases in this for that kind of that kind of care obligations throughout the team. So some nice use cases within that. And then third one is sales close. I know some of you on the poll put about kind of building the ability to have more sales, whetting the customer's appetite and more. This is a really nice way of doing it with the conversation intelligence. So what we can see in some of the topics, for example, you may have someone who's had an offer expansion. You go in and listen to that call. You may actually find out that Kevin took that call, and originally the call was going to be cancelled. Kevin's actually gone above and beyond to get that negotiation back on track and actually expanded on that offer to bring more revenue into the business. As a manager now, you have the opportunity to light Kevin up. You can show him, replay that message to the wider audience, to your managers, show how much of an amazing job that Kevin has done, which is obviously going to make him feel like $1 million, right? That then has a positive effect on the rest of the team. Yeah, at first they may dig him out a little bit for being the teacher's pet, but in the long run they'll see that, well, Kevin's done this and he's actually earned better commission. How am I going to do that? What do I need to do? So there's some real nice pieces in there for people to be able to really engage and have some real proactive approaches with what they're doing. And like I said earlier, if you're recording calls already, you've already got this data set. So how are you going to use it to better impact your business? And then lastly is kind of using smarter IVRs with AI. So we're able to utilize AI and IVRs and sit that in front of a user, kind of taking away those menial tasks from those users. For example, let's look at a hotel chain. You may get the calls into your reception that are consistently asking for a late checkout or what the checkout time is and so forth. We can start to utilize AI to answer those questions for those callers. And just kind of going on the point with a late checkout, your AI could then inform the caller how much a late checkout was going to be. And if you would like to go ahead with this, please say yes or no. It will then pass it through to your reception or agent. That then can be put through to a dedicated hunt group. So when it comes through to the agent or receptionist, they know that call is about a late checkout. The terms of that late checkout have already been agreed, and they can go ahead and take that payment straight away. There's a real nice use case there to understand as a return on investment. If we had one of our other pieces on for call reporting and done a understanding of how many calls you're dealing with between January and March, you then input the smart AI IVRs into place and then look at the kind of amount of calls you're now dealing with after that. There's a true reflection on the return on investment of how many calls that individual user or users are now having to deal with across the whole board. We've utilised this quite strongly in Europe. So in Holland, for example, their car parking systems are a little bit different to ours over here. They have to make a call and then tell the agent what their car reg is to make, and then the car payment's taken. For them, their kind of language is quite vast. So they'll have English, German, and Dutch. So we needed an AI IVR option that could understand any three of those at any one time without being prompted to then understand that car registration plate. And that's what this is able to do. The person has one conversation, it understands what they're being said, translates it, and it makes sure that's all done. We've also used it in waste recycling, where people need to provide their postcode. The AI IVR then understands what that postcode is and will direct that call to an area that is close by to that individual calling into the business. So we're making sure that customer gets to the right place, the right agent in the right area as quickly as possible, and providing basic information as well whenever it's needed. So just to reflect on kind of the first slide that I showed here, and hopefully now we've gone through some of these areas of AI, you're starting to understand now how we are really making these 6 elements come to life with what we provide. So that user experience, we looked at WebEx. We can see now how that from your users, how they can save themselves time, power them up with new resources, new information, summarising meetings and get them back up and running as quickly as possible. Modernising that perception of your business, whether you're using the Studio AI to provide new messaging, whether you're using that the WebEx features to pass out to your customers, and then enhancing that communication that way. Communication across the whole board, whether that's internally, using the recording, for example, to have better conversations with your staff and empowering them within that business to generate those, again, the more sales and increasing that consumer appetite. Streamlining processes, I think you can see that across all of these kind of elements as to where that can really nicely fit in. And the return on investment is truly there, whether that's an upheaval in sales, whether that's increasing that consumer appetite, whether that's providing more resource back to your agents, your receptionists, and so forth. We can all prove that. So I hope that has all been of value to you. It's a very overview of what we've got there. But if you want to have a bit of a deeper dive into any of this, please feel free to obviously reach out to Kev and the Amillan team. More than happy to arrange demonstrations of any of this to give you better insights, and of course learn more about how you guys and girls would like to utilize AI and how you can see it benefiting your business. So please feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Sam. I hope everyone found that useful. And as Sam says, anything around this, please reach out directly to myself or to the Amillan team. And also with anything else that we do, we're more than happy to sort of have discussions and help out where we can. On that note, I think we'll open it to the floor. I don't know if we've got any Q&A up there. Katrina, have we got any messages come in?
Yeah, I've got a few that have come via chat, and
Okay.
yes, we've got a couple here.
So this is where we'll put our technical people on the.
You're on the spot now. You're in the hot seat. The WebEx and Teams integration. I think I'm going to fire that to Adam as our design solutions consultant. Adam, do I need to have the Microsoft phone system license or the expensive E5 license to have a WebEx integration?
Okay, so good question. So with Microsoft, as we know, there are different routes we can take to enable PSTN call out with Microsoft Teams. There's the actual Microsoft route, which is using direct routing. And with direct routing, yes, you do need to purchase the phone system license on top of an E3, for example, or it comes with an inexpensive E5. But with WebEx, the answer to the question is no, you don't have to pay the additional fee to Microsoft. With WebEx, you can easily integrate using the application inside Teams, and you can use Cisco WebEx backend PSTN, so the subscription that we're supplying here. We can integrate that inside of Microsoft Teams. So if the end user wants to just purely use Teams as its base, and then we can make incoming and outgoing calls from there. So no, you don't need the additional license from Microsoft to have Teams integration into Cisco WebEx.
Well, that's good news. I'm sure lots of finance directors will be happy to hear that. I've got another couple of questions here. It seems to be very WebEx orientated. With WebEx, can I scale up and down licenses as and when required? Or am I committed to the licenses once purchased?
Okay, I'll take that again.
Okay.
So as a unified communications reseller as we are, we've dipped our toes into different manufacturers, vendors, UCaaS solutions. Okay, what we found with Cisco WebEx was to be the most flexible out of the other. I won't name them, but with Cisco WebEx, you can flex up and down on the fly. So let's say you're let's say it's a university, for example. So outside of clearing, you might want to scale to a base level. Let's just say 1,000 users. Let's just say, but during clearing, you need to add another 200 users. So for that month, you can scale up, and at the end of that month, you can scale back down again as well. So there's no like 12-month commitment, 3-year commitment between all the licenses. You can just scale up and down monthly as and when you wish.
So truly flexible in every sense of the word. Yeah. I've got an AI question. Woohoo! The WebEx AI assistant. Is that available across all the different subscriptions, or is it a specific subscription?
Okay. Yeah. So with Cisco WebEx, there are a bundle of licenses, subscriptions with different feature sets, of course. I would say, out of all of those subscriptions, there are probably three key primary subscriptions, which is basic, standard, and premium. Right. So all the lovely stuff that Sam's just shown us around AI, you would typically need the premium WebEx subscription for all this lovely stuff that we've seen today. Premium, yes.
Okay. And if we want to have an AI assistant for our users with our WebEx platform, does that mean everyone has to have it? Or can we simply choose who would like that functionality?
Okay, so unlike other UCaaS providers, you're not tied in. Let's just say you've got 100 users. Okay, you're not tied in to have those 100 users on the same subscription. Okay, so again, this is the flexibility of WebEx. So whoever's asked that question, you could have 10 users in finance who don't need any AI. Okay, so they could just be on a standard license or a basic license. But you might have some super users who are doing meetings all the time and want to take advantage of the AI things that we've seen today. So you could just specifically give them the premium license. So you can mix. I guess what I'm saying is you can mix and match licenses. So whoever's asked that question, yes, absolutely, you can mix and match. Not a problem.
Okay.
And scale up and down as and when you want as well.
Brilliant. Okay. So, I mean, obviously I can see who's asking the questions, so I'm going to fire those over to the team, and we'll get back to you with a bit more of a conversation. But coming in fast and furious here, how quickly can we activate the AI assistant?
You want me to take that? So the AI assistant is built into the premium subscription. So let's say today you're using standard or basic license, and you want to activate the AI assistant. So we need to upgrade you, as it were, to premium. It's instant because you tell us what you want. We can log on to the portal, the WebEx portal, the administration portal, or we can even give you as an end user the access to the portal, and you can manage your own subscriptions. But once you change like a tick box from a standard or basic to premium, it's live, it's done. So you would basically just need to log out of your client, log back in, and then the features are there. So it's instant.
Okay, brilliant. I'm just really glad you jumped on there, Adam. Lots of questions. So I think we're about to hit 15 from 11 o'clock. So I think we're about ready to wrap that up, I think.
Yeah, and just a final one for me. If anyone wants any follow-up, just reach out to us at Amillan, and we're more than happy to assist. But thanks for attending.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks all.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.